I was thinking about that the other day. I was actually talking to Edu about that at lunch, and yeah, I would have done it.
So that was Capello.
Yeah, and
he contacted you.
yeah, and I would have done it. Yeah, I feel very proud about it, and I was very realistic looking at the players that Spain had at the time, how little chances I had. So you need to know your level. That's very important. Look in the mirror, and at the end it didn't happen. It was good, at least to think about it.
Yeah. Were you sort of disappointed, upset? Did you try and fight that ruling in any way?
Sorry?
When it couldn't happen,
Yeah.
as far as I understand, the FIFA basically said...
No, but it's okay. You cannot do it, you cannot do it. That's it. That's fine.
It wasn't sort of a big ambition as well, and you weren't totally devastated?
No, I wasn't prepared to fight against the world in that moment.
Jordan?
Hi, Mikel. 4 of the first 6 games of the season were away from home. The next 10 games you have 7 away games. How much mental work do you do with the team, with the club, to ensure that these days do not affect you, these periods of being away from home for so long?
Yeah, we discuss and we put things in place to, especially to make the players feel fresh, you know, because there's a lot of traveling, there's a lot of requirements, a lot of routines and habits that become a bit different, but yeah, they just been 10 days away from home, most of them as well, you know, in hotels and playing international football, so they're quite used to it. The thing is, when you glide those two things together and then the days becomes a big proportion of certain periods, then become more challenging, but so far we are still very early in the season. The team is fresh.
What do you do to keep them fresh?
Well, try to make those periods as short as possible, as efficient as possible, obviously respecting the priority always, that is performance, that is preparation, and that is rest and recovery. So if we have to bring them back straight away after match is perfect. If the best thing is to stay in the hotels and try the following day to have better sleep, better food, better time to recover and prepare the next match, they have to understand. And then we always do certain activities within the squad to keep it fresh, to keep it a bit of a surprise and a bit of something a little bit out of the norms, basically.
Any examples of what you do?
No, not at the moment.
And just finally, and you've done a lot of work to kind of make away days feel like home, like, you know, putting slogans in the dressing room and trying to make it really feel like home. There was a period when Arsenal really struggled away from home, but that isn't the case anymore. Do you feel like you can now go on away days and you don't fear it or dread it as much as maybe you used to?
Well, we try to prepare the best possible way, and obviously the results that we had in the last 2 seasons, especially away from home, it's reassuring. It brings confidence, it brings trust to the team that we are capable of competing in any scenario, and that's, in my opinion, very, very important for ourselves and as well for the opponent, because they can see that that we are ready to face to face.
Okay, Isan?
Hi, Mikel.
Hi.
Over the summer, there's quite a bit of excitement around Gabriel Jesus and the return of him obviously being fully fit and the rest of it, obviously, the strike situation.
Yeah.
What we made of the start of the season, and do you think there's a bit more to come from him? Because it seemed against Southampton, he wasn't fully bang on.
Well, as I said, he came on in a great shape, probably better than in the best condition he's been with us. He was flying in pre-season, and unfortunately he got that injury straight away. That affected him for a few weeks. He put again a lot of work into it to come back, and now he needs to get the rhythm. You know, he's playing a few games. He started 2 games already against Atalanta and Bolton. He's come on against Southampton. So yeah, he's there. Now he needs to earn the right to play more. He's got our full support. He's a player who can play in various positions, and he's a really important player for us.
In terms of English managers in this country, looking at the pathway, is there anything more that this country needs to do in terms of producing English managers, or do you think it's just a matter of time for what comes through?
I don't know. I think I don't really know the system that well to give a clear opinion, but I can tell you that the level of English managers is really high, and the education of the players, especially when they come into the academy, is extremely high. So that means that there is quality there. Do they have enough opportunities as well? That's a question that probably is not for me to answer.
Gary?
Mikel,
Hi.
with obviously Thomas's vastly experienced
guess perhaps slightly advantageous for you when it comes to the load for some of the players who go off into the England Cup. The fact he knows what it's like to be in your shoes, and therefore maybe you get a little bit more slack, and perhaps it would be better for Bukayo and Declan at certain points.
Well, I think all the managers understand the demands that we have at the club level. But the reality as well is that they have the responsibility to do the best for the country and to fulfill the duties that they have in the role, which is to win all of the games. And with those demands, you have to make the best decision that you think for the day. And it's very difficult, and I understand that for anybody to look, okay, 1 month ahead, 3 months ahead, or looking at the previous history.
Ed?
Hi, Michael. Just on Jack Wilshere, you mentioned it's going to be a big miss if he does go. Have you made any attempts to try and keep him, to talk to him, or offer him a...
No, I don't know exactly where we are on that today. At the moment, he's here with us. We are extremely happy to have him, and okay, what happens in the future, we can discuss it after.
And just generally on your players, the next international break, obviously you've got a lot of injury issues at the moment. There's a few players that sat out this international break. Do you expect more to do the same for the next international break, which comes in a really, really busy time?
My wish will be that everybody's fit and available and they can go with the national teams, and we don't have to adjust any of that. So let's see where we are in November.
Okay, last quick couple. Thanks. Mike.
No, should we be surprised that there are more Spanish coaches in the Premier League than English coaches when there are 2,000 Spanish coaches with the pro licence badge and only 200 English? And if I wanted to go and get my UEFA pro licence tomorrow, good luck to your team. It would cost me £13,000, where I think in Spain it's something like €2,000. Should we be surprised that there's that imbalance in Spanish-English coaches in the Premier League?
Again, very difficult for me to give you a proper answer because I don't know all the data and all the factors that are contributing for probably that unbalance in the numbers that you are describing.
Okay, finally, John.
You mentioned that the England players were smiling when they heard that Thomas Tuchel. Does that include Raheem, who's out of the...
I don't know if Raheem was in there.
What about Ben White? Did he have a specific...
So he doesn't ask me about Bukayo or Declan. You go to... We just assume that those two were happy then. Yeah? Okay.
Well, I assume that Thomas Tuchel would be happy with those two.
And with Russ, I think he will be very happy, and probably very happy to have Ben as well. So.
Is it important to get Raheem back in the England side?
Well, if that's his desire and what he wants, for sure, and he's in a really good moment right now. I was watching the last few training sessions, and he was exceptional, and Raheem at his best, can compete with any player in this league for sure.
Okay, that's us.
Yeah,
Thanks
thank you.
Thank you.